Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's coming. No. When do we start?
Welcome back to the show. Another one where we're just going to sweat for an hour.
It's not that bad.
It's still pretty humid.
It's not as bad as last week.
No.
Last week was terrible.
It's not. I'm still running the air conditioner most days. It's kind of annoying. Not looking forward to my electric bill.
Well, see, that's why I don't use an air conditioner. It's expensive. I just run fans at night, suck the cool air in, cools the house off, just fine.
I have to do it at the store. Just if I'm sitting and sweating, that's too much.
Yeah, you kind of like have a greenhouse effect going on there with the big store window.
And then when people come in, you'll get those, like, some people are like, oh, it's so nice to be in an air conditioned space, or the immediate opposite. It's hot in here.
Yeah.
I can't run the air conditioner every day.
How about the heat coming off the brand new pavement in Hollowell?
That's nice. It's going to be a nice couple of weeks where that's done.
Well, Hollowell Day is what, 2 weeks away? 3 weeks away.
Not this weekend, not the next weekend, the weekend
The
after.
third week, yeah, last weekend in July.
And we survived the 4th.
Yes, we did.
Again.
It wasn't like last year.
No, but it's always questionable.
Yes, there was some touch and go moments. Yes.
We usually have fun.
No, not usually. We always have fun. It was a good time. It was a very good time. I think my favorite part was when I said I brought fireworks and you were upset with that.
Because last year was a debacle.
And then the best part about it, too, then was like, oh, I have this other firework, which is a really big firework, and it wouldn't stop for like a minute. You're like, will this damn thing ever stop?
I guess, yeah, let's get into it, because some stuff happened this week.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Up front, the big news story of the week. We are going to do that last and do that instead of letters.
Okay.
Put some actual time into it.
We can like tease it for later on in the show.
Steve Ditko died.
Yeah. So later in the show, we'll talk about Steve Ditko.
In memoriam.
There you go.
News of the week. Someone did something nice this week.
Let me think. I bought kids ice cream today after they worked really hard.
Well, sure, you may have helped children who were slightly warm, but Gal Gadot went to a children's hospital in full Wonder Woman gear.
Oh, that's very nice of her.
Yeah, and some people, I saw the internet, they were like, I don't like photos like this. It's just a publicity stunt. Yeah, it is, but it's still nice.
Yeah.
It can be both.
It's a nice publicity stunt.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are happy. She seems to be happy doing it. Like, yes, you're right. There are people with cameras taking advantage of the moment. That's fine.
Johnny Depp does it a lot, dressing up as Captain Jack Sparrow.
He should probably stop.
Why?
I don't know, because he's a weird woman-beating alcoholic. Maybe keep him away from children.
He makes their day.
So did she. We're starting off with some nice news this week. We saw Ant-Man this weekend, and what we've seen in Ant-Man and all other kinds of Marvel movies is more convincing de-aging than we've ever seen.
It was really good.
But what's happening for the Captain Marvel movie out in March is Samuel L. Jackson is going to be de-aged 25 years for the entire movie.
Wow.
We've seen him walking around set with a wig on, so I think it's going to be like looking like Jurassic Park Sam Jackson.
Jurassic Park Sam Jackson or Jules Winfield Sam Jackson?
I don't think they can do that hair. That doesn't seem like S.H.I.E.L.D. would allow that hair.
The Jerry curls?
Yeah, seems like a bit much. But people were freaking out like, this has never been done for a movie before, de-aging someone for the entire thing. Like, I guess no one saw Tron.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
to
really
be fair,
done.
no one did see Tron, so I guess.
I saw Tron. I liked Tron.
They de-aged Jeff Bridges in that and had him old. He was both.
Yeah.
But I'm all about it. I mean, they have enough reference material for Samuel L. Jackson because he's been in every movie ever for the last 25 years.
Every single movie.
Crazy, I know. You might not think he was, but he was. I don't know. I think that's ballsy instead of just doing a scene. Marvel hasn't gone more than like one scene or two scenes.
But the de-aging in Ant Man and the Wasp looked pretty good.
It's got to be expensive.
Can't be any more expensive than a mustache.
It's true.
Maybe it's like a big FU to DC and be like, look at this. If we can make a whole person look younger, you can't even take a mustache off.
Any other Marvel movie news? I like to keep it themed.
Well, Ant-Man was #1 at the box office.
Yeah. I guess this is connected to Marvels and Marvel movies. The continuing saga of Stan Lee. It doesn't end, man.
No.
He has dropped his $1 billion lawsuit against POW Entertainment. They seem to be saying that everything's fine and they're going to get back to work and creating new characters and concepts. I'm like, are you? At 90 something? However, like 93? Probably not.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah. But he is still suing one of the guys involved with POW Entertainment. Yeah, a guy whose name has come up before. Geraldo Alvarez. Yeah, so he's still getting sued.
Oh.
He should. He seems like a real scummy guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's much of a pleasant individual.
Okay, here's some Marvel movie news.
Okay.
Here's a winger for you. Nicolas Cage, baby.
Oh, I like him.
He is going to be in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie as Spider-Man Noir, who's like a steampunk 1930s Depression-era Spider-Man.
You know, I'm not really shocked that they would use him for this. I
Why not?
kind of like it.
Let him
Bring
ham
it
it
on.
up. His comic book movies are mixed. He's a little too much of a fan. His name, Nicolas Cage, he took the name Cage after Luke Cage. Cultural appropriation, Nick.
Ooh.
Named his son Kal-El.
He was supposed to be Superman.
It's not his fault that it didn't go.
No.
2 Ghost Rider movies, but watching Kick-Ass, God, that's like 10 years old now. Kick-Ass, he's pitch perfect in it. So he's such a hit or miss guy. And if he's just doing voice acting, he's going to go big.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fantastic.
When he's trying to do like gravelly, gruff Spider-Man from the 30s. Spider-Man Noir hasn't been in anything in a while. There was, that was about 10 years ago too. Marvel did a whole run of like Spider-Man and X-Men and all their characters noir. Spider-Man's the only one who seemed to have really had any staying power. He was in a video game and a few other odds and ends. But yeah, Nick Cage, baby.
People like Spider-Man.
Generally, yes, I've noticed.
Yes.
DC movie news. Well, we're going to have a lot of news coming up soon. There's not a ton of news this week because San Diego's right around the corner.
Everyone's sitting on it.
Everyone's waiting on their news. First Aquaman trailer is going to drop. Unclear if it's going to get a public release or not. I mean, someone will videotape it.
Do you think we'll get an Infinity War Part 2 or second Avengers?
Marvel's
whatever?
not there. They're not going.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They have their D23 summit, so they don't need to. I think Marvel Television is going, but Marvel movies are not.
Wow.
So, look forward to some Iron Fist news.
Ugh.
Newsed? Yeah, so DC news. Well, yeah, Aquaman is going to be happening, so we might get a trailer or someone will film it. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
What if it gets booed right out of the hall?
Nothing has ever been booed in Hall H. You have to give a mandatory woo!
Is it like you have to like sign, I will go woo?
You have to cheer. Which, I mean, people get caught up in the moment. That's the same reason why I say, like, I don't trust first reactions to movies, like people who got to go see screenings early.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so caught up in the moment, like anything looks good. But the other thing, Birds of Prey, I guess that one's actually happening. That's the Harley Quinn and Friends one. That's going to start filming in January.
Didn't Margot Robbie make a big uproar about how the casting should go for that?
I didn't see it, but
No.
she could have.
It's possible.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. She's a producer on it, though. And she seems to be actively engaged with trying to not make these movies terrible.
That's a plus.
Yeah, she was, like, the one not terrible thing out of Suicide Squad. That's not true. I also like Jai Courtney.
I liked Will Smith.
Just Will Smith about.
Come on, it's Will Smith.
He does one thing.
He's more than one thing. He's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. Come on. Show some respect. See, here's the story. Margot Robbie wants diverse leads for Harley Quinn spinoff. Real life isn't one specific image. We've got to reflect that on screen.
Sure, go for it.
There you go.
I don't really care. And you could say, make Catwoman black. That's been done before.
Black Canary, Barbara Gordon.
Different characters.
Using Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, no, I would do Oracle as Caucasian just because we already have Jim Gordon that we saw in Justice League, so I think you'd have to have her be white, but I think anyone else is fair game. Or, she could be adopted or mixed or whatever. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter.
It all works.
Yeah. Unless the character's story is specifically based on a certain thing that makes them like, oh, this has to be a black character, this has to be an Asian character. If it's kind of ambiguous, then I don't care.
That's fair.
If you don't have something specifically tied to that history, make them what you want. I could care less.
I have nothing to really add to that.
You like Star Wars?
I tolerate the Star Wars.
Because I got all kinds of Star Wars news. Casting news.
Ooh.
Number 1, Kerry Russell is going to be in Episode 9. Do you want to say the thing that the entire internet's been saying? Every time there's a female character in a Star Wars movie now?
It's going to be Jin's mom.
Right, but yes. Everyone's been saying that. So Rey's mother? I don't know. Maybe. I like the idea of them being ambiguous drunks. I don't really need to see it.
And by Jin, I meant Rey.
I know what you meant. You meant they were asking for Jin when they abandoned her.
Yes, probably. Space Jin.
Sure, it exists. And she's worked with J.J. Abrams before. Mission Impossible 3, Felicity. I like her. She was an indie movie from, I keep saying 10 years ago, but I think this was 11 years ago, Waitress with Nathan Fillion. That was a great movie. And she voiced Wonder Woman in a 2009 animated movie, also with Nathan Fillion, that was really good. I was at the world premiere of that movie.
Ooh, aren't you fancy?
No, it was an animated movie. Wasn't that fancy.
But you were at a world premiere.
Yeah, it was at a con.
Did you dress up?
No, it was literally at a Comic-Con. They're like, this is the premiere of an animated movie that's going direct to video, but it's actually really good. Super violent.
Okay, good.
Whatever, I like Kerry
those
Russell. reversal.
things.
And then,
And super violence.
I see you're drinking a Coors Light there,
I am, in fact.
but could I interest you in a Colt 45?
And 2 zigzags. 'Cause maybe that's all we need.
No, because Billy D is back.
What?
No, he's gonna be back.
He's going to be in the movie?
Yes.
All right. Give me some Lando, baby. Woo!
It was rumored he was going to be in 8, but supposedly he just doesn't have the acting chops anymore, so they didn't.
So go get coached up, Lando.
Yeah.
Is he going to steal back the Millennium Falcon? That's what it's all about at the end. He's like, I'm going to take the damn ship back.
That's literally how it ends, is he just flips off. He takes the Falcon, flips everyone off, and flies away.
And that was the end of the Star Wars.
And you see him drinking a Colt 45.
He goes to Rey, I knew your parents. They were drunks. I'm out.
I gave them the Colt 45. Got him hooked on the sauce. But yeah, sure, why not? I mean, everyone else's character can't come back. Except for Luke. Luke can come back.
Yeah, he's going to
Force
be in
Ghost.
it. Yeah, he's going to be a Force Ghost. Absolutely.
There's also rumors of Hayden Christensen also returning, which I'm all for it. Bring him back too. Bring them all back as ghosts. Have a big old ghost out. They can have a cookout.
Yes.
We already know that Yoda's big on just shooting lightning and starting fires.
He's
So
an arsonist is what he is.
shoot some lightning, get some hot dogs, call it a day.
Do they have hot dogs in the Star Wars universe?
Probably a grosser kind of hot
Those
dog.
Space dogs.
Yeah, made up of different space animal anuses.
Hot dogs are not made from animal anus.
Yeah, just pig.
It's not made from pig anus either. Because they have pork and beef. They have beef hot dogs.
Well, yeah, whatever. Bring Billy D. Williams back. Be curious to see what he's been doing ever since things ended.
Drinking. Well, no, he was...
I mean, he can't... Does he go back to Cloud City, that place he didn't even really like in the first place?
Well, the deal got progressively worse.
What else we got? Oh, yeah, here's a fun one. Indiana Jones has been pushed back.
Indiana Jones and the 24-hour day pass from the geriatric wing.
It's been pushed back 1 year, so now it'll be out in 2021, the year that Harrison Ford will be 79 years old. So at least he'll be a spry 78 when they film it.
This has got to be one of his last movies. Has to be.
If you give me a movie where it's not an action-adventure movie, it can't be that anymore. If you give me a movie where he knows that he's old and he has to use his brains instead of his fists, because he's also incredibly intelligent, but we would never really see them mix. You would a little bit, but you usually see like the smarts when, he's in the suit and the glasses and the action when he wasn't. Combine them. Make it, you can kind of take the action part away because it's not going to happen.
Oh, you mean like Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons?
Yeah, but better.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, they're not terrible.
They're not good.
They're in the middle.
Those are Ron Howard, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but-
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah, he changed his hair. That's how you know it's a good movie, when everyone just talks about the hair.
Moving on.
What was I yelling about? Oh yeah, Indiana Jones being pushed back. What? I'm not against it. It could still work if you're moving forward anyway. Just make it so he has to use his brain instead of his brawn, and I can get on board for that.
Because we've already seen an Indieverse time.
Well, that's
Father Time is undefeated, by the way.
half of that last Indiana Jones movie was them making old jokes about him, like, oh, he's so old, he can't do it anymore.
Yes.
And this is going to be 13 years after they made a million old person jokes.
Now they can make a million really old person jokes.
Yeah, no, we don't need that. Just make him
79 is the new 50, Zach. Come on, let's go. Get with it.
Just make him be smart. And I mean, he can also probably still shoot a gun. That's fine. Just he can't be like punching dudes out. In all fairness, he was punching Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner.
Yeah, and he was also shooting lasers and running from Rothgars.
Yeah. There's a great shot of or it's a still image. There was one where Harrison Ford actually punched Ryan Gosling. They were having their fight.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, you can see his face. It's like shock and pain. It's a wonderful still. Here's a weird one. I'm just bringing it up because it's weird. In Marvel Comics, the character you never thought needed a movie is... I'm not a movie. He was in a movie and died in 5 seconds. Spoilers for Deadpool 2. But Shatterstar is getting his own series written by Tim Seeley. Such a bad 90s character.
Better than Plant Man.
Whatever, yeah. Bring it on, I guess. Give me something weird. I'm not against it. And hey, because Marvel just went, this one made money and this one made money, what if we bring them together? Deadpool versus Black Panther is coming out in October.
That should make money.
Yeah, that's this one. This one. Oh.
If ever the two shall meet.
Yeah. And as we do most months, some months I forget about it. Top 10 comics of the month or for June.
Brrr. Number 10. We can't afford a real drum roll here. We don't have a timpani, so I had to do it. Brrr.
Justice League number 2. It's fine. Justice League number 1 is higher in the list, amazingly enough.
Number 9.
X-Men Gold number 30, The Wedding of Kitty and Colossus. Or is it? It wasn't.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever, it's already out. Too bad.
Number 8.
Thor number 1. Jason Aaron is still on Thor. He said this is going to be his final run on Thor. He's been on it for a number of years. It's probably my second favorite run of Thor ever, so sad.
Number 7.
hey, Deadpool had a new movie. Deadpool also had a relaunch title, so you could jump on with the number one.
That's all you really have to say about that?
Actually, no, I will say a little bit more. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I haven't cared about Deadpool in a long time because he got kind of oversaturated. But this is being done by Scotty Young, who can actually do weird and quirky, irreverent humor, unlike most people who fail at it. So yeah, I actually liked it quite a bit.
Number 6.
Batman 48, leading up to the wedding. They gonna get married? They not? I think that was a Batman versus Joker one. So yeah, basically enough did well.
Number 5.
Batman 49, still building up to that wedding. This was Catwoman versus Joker.
Interesting. They all fighting for like the spot at the buffet.
Joker wanted to know where his invite was.
Oh, fair enough. Number 4.
Amazing Spider-Man number 801, finishing off Dan Slott's, it's like 12-year run on Spider-Man. I talked about the issue when it came out. It was very good.
Number 3.
Another Dan Slott book. Tony Stark, Iron Man number 1. Starting over, I like it. Iron Man I haven't been big on for a couple of years. The book's been super boring, but so I actually care again, which is nice.
Number 2.
Magic Order number 1. This is a Mark Millar book, or Mark Miller. I think it's Mark Miller. Why is this one so high on the list? This book that no one's heard of? Because it was fully returnable by shops, and that never ever happens. You can order as much as you want, and then what doesn't sell, you can return.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What a beautiful world that is.
One you don't live in.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen.
Number 1.
Justice League number 1. Scott Snyder is taking over the reins of Justice League. Once again, speaking of a series that's been super boring, and now someone good is doing it. This is actually, it's not a bad month. I said a lot of positive things about those 10.
Has the Batman wedding happened yet?
It has. Or has it?
I don't know.
We talked about it last week. I'm not going to spoil it. That one's still too fresh.
Okay.
Overall, for the month of June compared to last year, sales units were down 7%, and sales were down 9% compared to June of last year. And compared to May, 500,000 less books sold. So,
well,
Yay, comics. You're such a stable market.
Hey, guess what time it is?
I don't know.
It's time for Gabbing About Bendis.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Let's do that. Bendis!
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
I bring this up because I was watching TV last night.
Were you watching My Numbers Rise?
No.
Or did you see the commercial?
I saw the commercial for Superman.
Isn't that so weird? Yeah. I didn't see them, but I saw that they were out.
Oh, yeah, that was really cool. It was like, for Superman and Action Comics?
Yep. Yeah, his 2 new titles. Yeah, he has a commercial on the television.
Yeah, it's a Brian Michael Bendis on the TV, and I sat right up, I'm like, I know him. Well, I mean, I know of him. I talk about him every week.
Me too, because I do this most weeks, and usually it's a good way to get a little bit of exposure. So you throw out some promo tweets of like, oh, this is out this week and it's really good. And you'll usually get like a creator retweet. Ugh, boy, I got a Bendis retweet.
Did you really?
That's last I checked, that thing had like 22,000 impressions on it. And my phone has been exploding for the last day.
Is that what this is? Your phone keeps going off?
That was actually a different tweet that I did about Spider-Man. That one only has like 5,000 or something.
Wow, you have a big Twitter footprint.
Yeah. That was definitely one of the big ones. I'm like, you just get those slivers of like, Jesus, that's what like famous people have to deal with all day, just Twitter.
You can mute notifications.
I'm sure that's what they have to do, because it was like 20-something thousand. My God.
Wow.
Yes.
Good for you.
But it's always so, because that one was like, I sent it out and like within a minute he'd retweeted it. So I guess he was just on his phone.
I feel like I'm not going to be a local internet celebrity at this pace, because you are getting way more action than I am on the internet.
Yeah, so that was it's nothing special. It wasn't even like a clever tweet or an interesting tweet. It was just, hey, this is a good thing.
And he's
buy
like,
this thing.
He's like, yeah, what this guy said. And everyone's like, yeah, what that guy said.
Yeah, my promo tweets always get the most action. If I throw it at something else, people are like, meh, whatever. Screw you guys.
Yeah. Oh, he's talking about himself again? What a self-serving, glad-handling son of a bitch.
And that'll do it for the news. A lot more coming up with San Diego, but let's move on to Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
It's kind of a really boring time of year for sports. Baseball's really the only thing going on. NFL teams aren't really hanging around. Yeah, there was Summer League basketball, and Grayson Allen got in a fight last week. Whatever. The big news of the...
Yeah, I watched the first game. Or I watched 3/4 of it. It's Summer League.
It is. It's not like...
My favorite part is like the college kid that the Celtics signed was like Robbie Williams III, who's like 27th pick overall. That's the only guy who's been getting any real coverage. He goes in like middle of the first quarter, 5 minutes maybe before he got injured. He's been out ever since.
Well, it's summer
It wasn't
ball.
even a good injury. It was just like his knee hit another guy's knee. He's been out.
I'm sure that if my knee hit your knee, we both would be down and out.
Yeah, and some guys are looking good. guys we already knew were good. Ojale looks good.
Yeah,
Yabusele looks good.
No shock. No surprise.
Jabari Bird's getting a little bit of time. I mean, when there aren't better players around, he looks pretty good, but comparatively.
They're still a very long way away from the 2019 NBA Finals.
It's kind of nice just watching Brad Stevens just like lounge in the stands like, I don't got to do anything.
Yeah, because he didn't have to coach. He just is there to observe.
But I only watched most of the first one because it's summer ball. It's not that exciting.
That's what I told you last week. Like, oh, summer basketball. Can't wait.
I did. I got what I wanted out of it. I got to watch one game when, okay.
All right, there you go.
And then the next game was at like 11 p.m. I'm like, not watching that one.
No. The other big thing that's going on in the world is the World Cup, the semifinals. France has advanced over Belgium. By the time you listen to this show, you'll know if Croatia beat England or not. Could be England and France.
On the edge of my seat.
England and France could be in the finals of the World Cup. That's all I really have.
Yeah. The one time people care about soccer. No one cares the rest.
No, actually, like the majority of the planet cares about soccer.
Not in America.
Yeah, not where opinions really matter.
Let me tell you all the famous soccer players I know, and I'm done.
Pele?
That's the only one I knew.
Alexi
but I was like,
Lawless?
Beckham.
David Beckham. There you go.
I was saying current people. Pele is like 20 years ago.
Thierry Henry?
No idea.
Messi? No. Wayne Rooney?
I'm not going to know any of them.
No. Okay.
I knew Pele and Beckham.
Good for you. That's all I really have for Jared Sports Reports. There's really not much sports to be reporting on this time of the year. It's the doldrums of summer.
Because it's really hot. Who wants to play sports right now?
Some people.
Well, I guess if those are your sports.
That's about it, really. Sorry I don't have much more entertaining sports reports. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is coming up soon, I guess. But yeah, so from there, why don't we go to a movie review?
Sure, why not? Let's do that thing.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
Ant-Man and The Wasp came out this week to middling reviews, but you know what I say?
What?
Pretty good. I liked it. Had a fun time. Enjoyed it.
I had fun.
It's a movie it's very light, and this is the first Marvel movie in a while. I'd say, bring your kid. Probably not have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's really not that heavy.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of dark scenes, and I think, you could bring a kid to this. It'd be fine. They'd probably enjoy it.
There's some good humor in it and everything.
There's very pithy humor in it. Like, we knew that this was going to be a comedic movie. The last one was to a point, and you needed kind of a palate cleanse after Infinity War anyway.
Because you're like, oh, good, a movie where not half the people are dead.
But I mean, compared to something that, like Ragnarok, I would also count as a comedy, but that one is more slapsticky physical humor. This is more just petty, pithy comments.
Ragnarok also drives forward the Infinity Gauntlet storyline a little bit.
Oh, I'd say this one does too. We'll get there. I can't say it yet. I think it's going to play a major role, actually.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be the driving force behind the next movie.
Interesting.
But we'll get there when we get there. The dog's going crazy.
Yes,
he is. Belly rub. He's making his insane belly rub face, which is just, he can't handle it. He can't handle the belly rubs.
He's so happy.
Belly.
He's like,
All right, I need to go back to this, bud. I mean, because you didn't see the first one, you Wikipedia'd what happened literally in the theater.
Yeah.
and you saw Ant-Man in Civil War.
Yes. He stole a suit. He can get really big and he can get really small.
Yeah. And they have Michael Pena.
Yes.
Who is always a lot of fun. And he continues to be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's one of the best parts of that movie. We do get the introduction of a new cop that Scott's under house arrest.
Shocking.
Minor, because it's been in the trailer, so I'm not going to really call it a spoiler. The reason that he's under house arrest is he didn't run away with Captain America, and because he broke the Sokovia Accords, that's why he's under house arrest.
Yes.
But I like the guy with the Randall Park as the actor. Was
Woo.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Yes, he was.
I feel like there was a lot of improv in that.
No, a lot of improv. I thought he was funny. Kind of was a nice foil.
And we get Paul Rudd, the man who can't age.
No, he's like the same as...
He's 49.
Yeah, he still looks the same as when he was in...
He looks better than whatever you're going to say.
Anchorman.
He looks a lot better.
Yeah, because he was... At least in Anchorman, he looked old, like...
I mean, he looked like a regular guy.
Yes.
In this, he does not look like a regular guy. He's very in shape.
Because he's been using that Sex Panther.
Evangeline Lilly's back. What I like about her in this movie is she isn't creating love triangles and finding paths in the woods, which is all I really know her for. It's Lost in The Hobbit. She literally did the same thing in both movies.
Yes.
Or TV show and movie, whatever.
Yes.
So it's nice seeing her not do that for a change. And in general, I like her.
Oh, she's a solid actress. She played the role well.
Michael Douglas, the man who is so prolific at oral sex it gave him throat cancer.
Why would you frame it that way?
I am not forgetting that he said that. Not going to forget.
I don't think that's how that works.
He said it's because of all of the STDs. So I guess don't touch Michael Douglas.
Ugh.
Yeah, this was like 13 years ago. He literally said that's what gave him the throat cancer, was all the oral sex. The master Michael Douglas. I mean, I like it. He could definitely come in here and just do nothing and collect a paycheck, but he's really trying. He's good.
Oh, yeah.
The surprise Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne it about.
Yes.
He doesn't bring a lot to it, but he's not bad either.
No, he's standard Lawrence Fishburne. You're not going to get bad Lawrence Fishburne.
Do you ever see, I'm sure we've talked about it a million times. You ever see Predators?
No.
No, but in that movie, he doesn't get to do it a lot, but he did like crazy, like he played a crazy man and his overacting was top notch, like Nick Cage levels of overacting. So I didn't know if we were going to get that in this movie.
No, we really didn't. No, he was thoroughly enjoyable in this movie.
The plot's pretty light. I don't think anyone's going to be really shocked. We know there's a villain. The villain has a thing that we'll do in spoilers, but you know that they're going back to get Janet Van Dyne out of the quantum realm. The quantum realm effects are insane.
They're really, really good.
I wasn't high enough for this movie.
No, I don't think there's a thing.
Which is, I wasn't at all, but you know, like the second that stuff started, it's like, what?
That'd be like mind-blowing.
Compared to the first one, I liked it a bit more because that was kind of a quick in and out. The effects in the last one were great too, and I don't usually recommend it, but this one might be a movie to see in 3D just for those effects.
Just for the quantum realm scenes.
Yeah, boy, because those are trippy. A little exposition heavy in the front.
Yeah.
Once it gets going, but
it takes a while to get going.
There was a dump in the top half of the movie.
Yeah, I know.
The only thing that's really driving it forward is Paul Rudd.
Yes.
But beyond him, it is a slog for maybe the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What would you qualify? Because the last movie was hands down a heist movie. What would you call this movie? Because it's not a heist movie.
It's not a heist movie. It's not a buddy cop movie. I don't know.
I guess this is just kind of fall under the realm of, action comedy.
Yeah, I think so.
Family-friendly action comedy.
Yeah, popcorn. It's a popcorn movie.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a nice place to go with air conditioning.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and plot's thin, but it was enjoyable. And we're living in like this wonderful day and age now where if this movie came out like in 2003, it would be the greatest thing you've ever seen.
It probably would be. And right now it's like...
It's pretty good.
It's all right.
Yeah. I'm not like rushing to go see it again. Like there was an Infinity War Blu-ray trailer that came out today, and like I was watching that so intently. I'm like, yes, I remember those scenes. Can't wait to watch this again
in Blu-ray on my 4K TV.
Yeah, but comparatively to like Ant-Man, I'm like, yeah, when it comes out, I'm gonna watch it again. But I'm not,
yeah,
I'm not gonna be running back to the theaters. The movie performed better on opening weekend than the last one did, but a little under the projected. But we're also done with Marvel movies for the year.
Yeah, that's a long way to go. 6 months.
Yeah. It used to be like one a year, maybe, with sequels every 2 to 3 years. Now it's like, 6 months.
6 months. Well,
that's forever.
Yeah.
Give me one of these a month. I'd go watch them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, they've really perfected serialized storytelling.
They're really good at it.
Yeah, no one else is, but they are.
And everything has a place in the story arc. Like, this has been long-term storytelling, too. Like, this is all connected. I think that's the most impressive thing about the MCU is there is a grand vision and they all play into it somehow. There's no I would call like this a standalone movie to an extent. Would I be wrong?
No, and I don't you went into it cold, and I don't really think you need to know anything about the last movie. I think it's all pretty straight up front.
They pretty much tell you stole my suit.
Yeah.
This is why you have it. This is why you have these fantastic abilities, because you're a thief.
Yeah. I guess I can wait on comic references. And instead of saying, well, we'll do that next, why don't we just do that next? I give this movie a go see it in theaters on our scale of go see it in theaters, Redbox it, or don't waste your time.
I'm going to kind of surprise you here with my ranking. Listen, if you're on a budget this summer and you don't have the $12.50, you're okay waiting till it comes out on Redbox. I'm in between see it in theaters and Redbox it. If you got $12.50 to blow and you want to hang out in an air-conditioned place, it's not the worst thing you can do for 2 hours. But if you're
bring a kid. If you have a kid, bring a kid.
Yeah. I'm not strongly go see it in theaters. I'm not also strongly wait to Redbox it. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, it's good and enjoyable. From there,
50-50.
Let's do spoilers.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
So Michelle Pfeiffer's in this for 10 minutes.
She is.
Where the hell did she get that eyeshadow?
I don't know.
She has the perfect smoky eye and some lovely lipstick.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
In the quantum realm.
Anything's possible.
I mean, she got it like a cloak? Where'd she get that cloak?
I don't know, dude. Don't worry about that.
I found that to be so distracting. Like, a lot of eyeshadow. She's been down here for 30 years.
That's a long time to be down there.
That's a long time to keep that eyeshadow up. With nothing. Whatever. She's fine. Nothing against her. You know, art imitating life. She is 14 years younger than Michael Douglas, much like his wife. Or however much
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, however much younger she is. Too many subplots in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on. I thought Ghost was cool, but it was like... Here's my thing with the movie, and this is why I gave it like the thumbs middle. There are no stakes in this movie. There's nothing to get me on the edge of my seat. Like, oh my God, this is going to be like... I think part of that is a little hangover from Infinity War. Like, where, oh my God, everything just hit the fan. This obviously takes place before Thanos snaps his fingers. But I just never felt any...
That's why I liked it, though. I liked getting...
worry for anybody. I was not really emotionally invested in this movie.
Because really, since Age of Ultron, everything has been... And yes, there are parts of lightness of like Thor, but even there's darkness of that movie too. Like Odin dies, all of the Asgardians die. They literally blow up a planet. Like there's some darkness in that movie. The Hulk is a gladiator who just kills indiscriminately. Like that movie has its moments.
Hello, New Doug.
Yeah. But yeah, really since Infinity War, it's been a pretty dark universe. So I kind of liked getting something that was just like, little bit lighter. This universe can have whatever they want. And I kind of enjoyed that personally. I did not care about the subplot with Walter Goggins' character, who I am not going to remember the name of the villain. The
Ghost.
The guy who was trying to get the lab. So he could get rich. Did not care for that.
That's how forgettable he was.
I saw this isn't my idea, so I can't claim it, but I saw people online being like, why wasn't he Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2? That would have been a million times better.
It would have been a billion. Was it the same actor?
No, but just tying those movies together. And he's, you know what?
That would have been a nice pull.
I like Sam Rockwell better as an actor anyway. Not that Walter Goggins is bad, but yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Connecting the movies in another way. I would have been all about being Justin Hammer.
Yeah, 100%, because he's disgraced and in the pits after everything that happened in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, and he's still being referenced. He was just brought up in Luke Cage that just came out a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, they still bring him up. By the way, watch Luke Cage. Amazing.
Was it really good?
Loved it. One of the, I'm going to say, top 3. Like Daredevil Season 1, Jessica Jones Season 1, and this.
Wow, that good.
Yeah, it was really good. And the way it ends, it's the only one of these so far where I've been like, give me the next one now.
Did anyone turn to Ash?
No, they didn't do that.
Oh.
I was curious if they were going to, but no.
Is that like Marvel's new thing? Just, Ash him.
That'd be fun. Comic references. There's a bunch of them, or some, I guess. Ghost is an Iron Man villain. Ant-Man doesn't really have a good rogues gallery. They do show one of his rogues. He's really crappy. His name is Egghead. He's just a big man with an egg-shaped head, and he's bald, and he died in a flashback.
Wow.
He's a crappy character anyway.
Well, sucks
to
suck.
It was Ghost's dad. It's Egghead.
Yeah.
Marvel, usually when there's something happening, either with a movie or if there's like a big #1 coming, they put out this series of comics called True Believers, which are just a bunch of $1 reprints of like key issues or like, they find a way to make you want to just, spend $1 to learn more about a thing.
Yeah.
And my favorite one so far was an Ant-Man one for this movie. They go, Ant-Man presents Ghost. And what it was is because it's not an Ant-Man villain and Ant-Man doesn't have villains, they literally reprinted an Iron Man issue, just said Ant-Man presents.
Wow.
It's not presenting anything, it's just an Iron Man issue.
Yeah, just Iron Man.
From the mid-'80s, when he looked very Rocky 3, like crop top.
Tony Stark wearing a crop top.
Yeah, little mustache. He was jogging. I didn't read the whole issue. I just opened up enough to be like, that's Rocky 3.
It was, or maybe it's just the 80s.
Or the 80s.
I'm going to go with the 80s. That's how you know, like, that's how you associate the 80s. Like, Rocky 3, the 80s. They were talking robots.
We see them watching a movie on a laptop when they're all shrunk. They've done that before. That was out of Nick Spencer's run of Ant-Man. They do some references to Cassie potentially joining up and being his partner. That is a thing that happens. She dies. Dr. Doom kills her.
Wah, wah.
It was a sad time. There's another time she also died, which I think it would be really cool if they did it for the sequel. Be something kind of different. I forget if it was a disease or if it was like little robots or something. I think like she got shot with like nanites and they were like going after her, his daughter's heart. So he shrunk down to like get inside of her blood vessels and had to fight all these things off.
Oh, that sounds intense.
Yeah. So I think that, if you're going to go somewhere with a series, I think that would be an interesting place to go. Like go inside the body next and just fight stuff like that movie whose title I'm forgetting.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember it either.
This movie was definitely influenced by like the ship that goes to the quantum realm, and I still can't remember its name. This movie likes to reference Bullet in its car chase, like every car chase that ever happened in San Francisco.
Yes, it pretty much followed it.
Everyone does the Bullet Road.
Down
Steve McQueen.
Yeah, down the S-curve road.
In that, like, I don't know what you call, like, shelves almost.
Down the hills, yeah. Which was also very similar to Gone in 60 Seconds.
Scott running a security firm, that's right out of Nick Spencer's run as well, except he hires like D-rate criminals. Like one of them is, I think his name is just Grizzly. It's a guy who he basically stands inside a grizzly bear and his face comes out of the mouth and he's sucky and he knows he's sucky, and it's really funny having him like work for Scott. And then getting into weird old adventures. No Avengers cameos in this.
0.
Yeah, I was curious what they were going to do there, and I think that makes sense given timeline-wise that they're all busy.
Yeah, not just timeline-wise, but like there's like name drops, but what else would they be? Why would they be where they are? They're all in hiding.
Yeah.
And plus it saves them a picture on the movie deals.
Post-credit scenes. Let's do the second one first, because that's one of my new favorites.
I loved it. It was a great troll. It's an ant playing Guitar Hero drums with the emergency broadcast system alert in the background.
You know, it's after Thanos has snapped. Like, you just hear, like, sirens, but, like, nothing else is, like, super quiet. And then there's just this ant playing the drums, a giant ant playing the drums. And people in the theater, like, everyone was like, oh,
and you're like,
terrible.
And you said, this brings joy to my heart.
I enjoyed watching others get upset. I was like, yeah, that was worth it. It was worth the 10 minutes I had to sit through of credits to get to that.
Did you see that Kevin Feige said that, yes, half of everything has died? Animals, trees, plants.
I don't know, but
everything.
Well, it doesn't really help the resource thing then. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Because if the problem was overpopulation and like
using
maybe
up
resources,
half of all animal life.
I'd buy that, because if you just take away half the resources, then you just have the same problem but on a smaller scale.
Yeah, so then I think maybe it was just the animals,
yeah,
like
sure.
all animal life.
Puddlegup, Frog Thor is gone. Other animals, Lockjaw from the Inhumans, who we'll never see again, gone. Or 50-50, I guess.
Yeah.
Just kill all the Inhumans, it's fine. But the other post-credit scene, I think this is going to be a biggie. I mean, it ends with everyone who isn't Scott turning to dust.
Yes.
So the whole movie is about saving Michelle Pfeiffer, who then immediately dies.
Yeah, because Squat.
Yeah.
Scott's in the quantum realm.
Yeah, collecting particles to help heal Ghost, who wasn't so bad all along. She just didn't want to die, but she was kind of bad because she killed a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't want to die, but if I have to die, a lot of people are going to die with me.
Well, they said that she was an assassin, so she's killed a lot of people.
Yes.
On the name of, hey, maybe you'll heal me. Oh, yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was kind of evil, but kind of not. Side note.
He was just all about that girl.
Yeah, but not in a sexy way.
No.
But yeah, so Scott goes down to the quantum realm, and here's where I think things are going to get interesting.
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer has kind of a throwaway line. She's like, oh, look out for a time vortex. You don't want to get stuck in those. This movie is
and
going...
you immediately said time travel.
Yeah, this movie is going to... I mean, we've already been introduced to the concept of time travel to a point with Doctor Strange and with Thanos, of like rewinding things, a little bit, nothing crazy. But I think we're going to get some time jumping around, and, can't confirm it, not sure, but I bet, because my original thought was, Avengers 4 has to pick up like the next minute.
Yes.
What if they did like a 10-year time jump, and then they end up going back in time, and, they'll be like, the age they would be in like 2019, but what if they did like a 10-year time jump?
So it's like 2029?
Yeah, and like the world is just, you could actually see what happens with Thanos' plan. Like, is the world saved or is it terrible? And then they get to, use the time vortex, whatever that Scott finds, and then they can just go back and fix everything and win.
So you think Scott's going to be stuck in the quantum realm for that amount of time?
I think there's going to be, maybe he'll go in the age that he is, but the outside world will maybe have aged 10 years, and they're like, why do you look like that or something? I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here. Let's see if I'm right.
That seems
Come back in a year. Am I right?
It seems like really convoluted that's how that would go down. I think it's going to be the energy particles he's collected.
But they just said those were for like healing. But I guess, they can do whatever you want because it's...
Yeah, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah, science doesn't matter. It's a tiny man who shrinks and grows. So yeah, who cares about regular science?
But you know what? Maybe it does make, that there is a part of that might make sense, because think about Doctor Strange saying that Tony has to live, so maybe Tony can understand Hank Pym's technology to pull.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so that's my theory for Avengers 4. I am backing this up with nothing, purely speculative, but I'm going to say Avengers 4 is 10 years or something in the future, so we can see what actually happened with Thanos, and then Scott's going to pop out looking like 49-year-old Paul Rudd, and they're like, you're 49?
Yeah.
He'll be 50 by then, but yeah. Yeah, just a theory. And then they'll use that to go back in time and fix everything. I could be wrong. What the hell do I know? Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. They haven't really dabbled with time travel. Although I think the time travel piece like that, except for, they did a little bit with Doctor Strange. I feel like that's a cheap way out of the problem. But obviously you do have to go back in time to fix everything.
Yeah, you need some kind of reset button. Because even if you just said, oh, we resurrected, I guess you could just say you resurrected everyone, but then you still have to deal with all that damage, whatnot, and all that stuff. Because even if you're like, oh, we put everything back to the way it was, like, right before things went terrible, you'll still have people, like, probably crashing into buildings and whatnot, and everyone freaking out. So yeah, I think you probably need to do a bit of I don't know, like, only people at the nexus of this have any memory or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
What do I know? I don't know. I've seen a couple of movies.
Yeah, you've been around the block a couple of times. So yeah, a completely serviceable movie. Certainly not the worst movie I saw this year by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think this movie is really going to spin out hard into Avengers 4. Or maybe I'm just reading too deep into it, but I doubt it.
It might be. I think everyone's looking for something.
Yeah, I was way off on the Soul Stone. I thought Heimdall had it.
You were wrong. Heimdall's dead.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Isn't it fun watching a movie series waste Idris Elba over the course of 5 movies? How do you do that?
They found a way.
Let's just underuse him. Sure, he's here, but Yeah, so I guess that'll do it for Ant Man and the Wasp. Unless you have any closing thoughts?
No, not really.
All right, then from there...
what do you want me to, like, soliloquy on it?
I don't know. Wrap it up with a little bow. Put a little button on it. Give it a little smooch.
I think it's a fun movie that, like you said, it's a good popcorn movie, but I feel like there wasn't anything that really... The villain was thin, I thought. Like you said, how do you, it was really hard to, sympathize with her motivations other than not wanting to, phase out of existence. And I thought it was, I don't know, it was kind of like a bait and switch movie because Scott's always not home when he's supposed to be, and he somehow gets away with not being there when Wu gets there, and I don't know.
I like the kid in this.
The kid was great. I thought she did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, because, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I usually hate kid actors, and the best thing they can do is not annoy me, and she didn't.
No, she was cute and fun and did a good job.
Yeah, I look forward to the next one. I bet it's going to involve her endangerment, because that seems to be a lot of Ant-Man stories, is his kid getting in trouble.
That's fair.
So that'll do it for that. I guess we're moving on to our In Memoriam. We don't have a theme for that. I'm not going to get one, because hopefully we don't have to do this too many times.
That's fair.
Where to put my notes?
I don't know where you put notes.
So instead of letters this week, by the way, send more emails or tweets, because I'm running low, so I would appreciate more. editorsnotecomics@gmail.com. Ask us whatever. Ask for dating advice or home improvement techniques or things related to comics and pop culture.
Anything. Anything goes.
Hope we get some home improvement questions.
That'd be great. I'd love some of those.
What? I'll share the greatest life hack I've learned since buying a house. You know, it's amazing.
What?
If your drain starts to get a little slow, don't buy Drano. It's bad for your septic.
It is terrible for your septic.
Don't do that. You know what you do? Don't get take a metal coat hanger, unravel it, try and hook things. You want to know the real secret?
Tell me the real secret.
You plunge it.
You push that shit through.
And then it comes spraying out the overflow. It's disgusting, but it works.
Yeah.
It works. Greatest thing I've learned since buying a house.
That's the best thing you've learned in the last 2 years.
I think that was the best, little life hack that I've learned. Plunge your drains.
You know what? One of the better life hacks I found, it's a good winter life hack. Take some nylons.
It's the opposite right now.
No, but it's never too early to start preparing. Buy nylons and fill them with ice melt and put them on the edge of your roof, and you won't get ice dams.
I think I don't anyway.
Well, must be nice.
Compared to you, breaking windows, climbing all over the place.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I learned how not to do.
All right, so our In Memoriam for this week. One of the last real legends of comics. There's still plenty of guys who did great work, insanely good stuff, but this is a pillar of comics, a guy who built something. Steve Ditko passed away, best known for working for Marvel in the 60s, because he also just flat out quit. Steve Ditko is known primarily for being the co-creator of Spider-Man and the co-creator of Doctor Strange over at Marvel. Over at DC, he did Batman villain The Creeper, who's a really weird one. The Question. We'll get into a little bit more of what he did. Famously, which is so weird to say that you're famous for this, famously reclusive and antisocial. If you Google search him, there are 4 photos of him, period.
Wow.
He wouldn't let people take photos with him. He wouldn't do anything. Marvel put out a record. It was Merry Marvel Marching Society, and they literally went around the office and everyone did their thing, and they're like, oh, look at that, Shy Steve just jumped out the window. I'm not convinced that he isn't Spider-Man. He did not like the public spotlight in any way, shape, or form. One day just up and quit Marvel. did Spider-Man for the first 38 issues, handed in his last issue, and just said, I'm done. Unclear as to why he quit, and no one really knows. He's been asked about it before. Also really hasn't done an interview since the 70s, so it's all old information. He was asked why he quit. He goes, I know I quit, and Stan knows why I quit. And that's about as deep as it went.
Wow.
Speculation about why that was. Some people think it was about the Green Goblin reveal. Who is the Green Goblin? He wanted it just to be some random guy on the street, like someone Peter didn't know. Stan wanted to have a connection. But, story-wise, the connection works, but Steve's thing was like, yeah, chances are you wouldn't have a personal connection to a villain you just randomly fought. True. But not as interesting.
No, I think that Stan got it right. The dichotomy between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
Which is a possibility. The one that I personally put more weight in, and, no guarantees it's correct, but the personal politics got in the way. Comics then are a bit like comics now. No, it's not 100%, but the majority of people working in comics are pretty liberal people. Steve Ditko was the opposite. He was insanely conservative. His bedside reading would be Ayn Rand. He loved Ayn Rand. And his specific branch of conservatism was something called objectivism. Look at it. Amazingly enough, I'm not a big reader of Ayn Rand, so my knowledge of objectivism is
minimal.
Yeah. It was he basically believes good is good, wrong is wrong, no gray area in between. He created a character called Mr. A who basically did that. It's like, if you jaywalked or committed mail fraud, he'd kill you because you did something that was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was his whole credo. And then
maybe 1 foot out of the crosswalk. Mr. A comes along. Sorry, citizen, but you're jaywalking. Zap.
Yeah, basically. No, he'd shoot him with a gun.
A bang.
Yeah, Mr. A was not super well received as a character.
I can't imagine why not. It's very totalitarian of him.
So people, the other thing that he would say to people is all of the people get in this world is like a day's work for a day's pay. But there were thoughts that Stan's politics kind of didn't mix right with his. Steve Ditko was, he was either the first or second Marvel artist to get a plotting credit within Spider-Man, but that's, which I know pissed off Kirby to no end. But because most people in the early days they would do it, the Marvel method of comics usually people would talk out a story, or Stan might write something down, the artist would go off, come back, and Stan would write a plot from there. It got to the point with Steve Ditko, and probably why he started getting that co-plotting credit is because he just stopped asking Stan, and he would just show up with the pages and be like, here's an issue. So he just took it a step further.
Done.
Yeah. In his early days, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Probably should have written this in discernible order.
But,
After World War II, going to post-war Germany, being over there, he came back to New York to the cartoonist and illustrator studio. And this is an interesting one that I didn't know. His instructor was Jerry Robinson. If name might ring a bell, it's one of the 3 main guys behind Batman. Another one of those people where credit is a little unclear to what he did. He'll tell you that he created the Joker and a few other odds and ends, but he definitely did a lot with Batman. Very unclear because everyone wanted to kind of, they're like, I did it all, and everyone else is like, but I did it all, and so vague. But either way,
like you taking credit for this show,
you can pony up the cash all you want.
Nope, don't got it right now.
Okay, but yeah, so he was taught by Jerry Robinson, which I thought was cool. Despite having some relatively conservative politics, he was one of the first guys to really insert things in there, like his character, the Question, or Blue Beetle. These were the prototypes to characters that ended up in Watchmen between Rorschach and Night Owl. He was putting his own brand of politics into things early on, when Marvel for a long time shied away from anything. They'd get letters written to them like, oh, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? And Stan's like, we're just here to tell good stories, true believer. And they lightened on that in the future. Not, sometime in the 60s. I don't really remember specifically when. But so Steve Ditko was one of the first guys to start actually putting his own personal politics into a thing. He is credited with being the guy who perfected the 9-panel grid, something that you see in Watchmen, or more recently with stuff like Mr. Miracle, which was riffing off of Watchmen, but that was taken from Steve Ditko. Kirby did 9 panels for a while. He wasn't very good at it. Ditko was a guy who kind of perfected that specific style, and that's something that we're still seeing today in very intentionally artsy books. When he died, it was so weird. Because it was actually kind of nice on Twitter for 3 days, because everyone was just praising him and talking positively, and there wasn't any negativity. And clearly that's a guy where you'd be like, oh, he was conservative, but no, that's not what they cared about. They cared about the work. He personally he didn't like talking about Spider-Man or Doctor Strange or any of that stuff. He didn't see any of the movies.
No.
May or may not have collected money from them. It's he said he didn't get anything, but there was a story from a few years ago where a neighbor of his accidentally, air quotes, accidentally opened a piece of his mail, and it was a big check from Marvel Studios. So who knows? Doesn't really matter ultimately, I suppose. But he really wanted nothing to do with it. But until this year, like, he was still self-publishing his own work. He had an apartment and he had a studio. He'd go to the studio every day. He'd work and he'd self-publish his own stuff, which I've never read any of it. Like, and I guess I could have. It's too late now. But if you wanted to get it for distribution, you had to contact him directly, and you could only do that through letter writing.
Good old-fashioned handwritten letter.
And everyone who wrote him, like, he wrote everybody back, and you saw a crazy ton of, like, letters popping up, and it's all, like, just him denying people everything. People are like, oh, can you sign the Spider-Man issue for me? He's like, no, and he just mails it back.
Well, at least he sent it back.
Or even, like, people like, oh, would you be interested in this? He's like, I have no interest in this. My favorite one is who used to be the head over at IDW sent him some ROM Space Knight because he had done ROM Space Knight back in the day. They're like, oh, thank you for your inspiration. This is what we're doing now. He wrote the back a letter. He's like, this is terrible and it's garbage and it's too cluttered, which makes it the anti-mind. Like, what does that mean?
Wow.
Yeah, handwritten letters. He responded to everyone. Him and Stan haven't spoke since '99, so it's been a while. I get part of that was Stan would always talk about, like, oh, I'm the creator of Spider-Man. He's like, you're the co-creator of Spider-Man. And I was watching a very interesting thing with Stan talking about, like, and he sent Steve a letter. He's like, you know, if he wants to be called the co-creator of Spider-Man, that's fine. And the interviewer was like, but what do you think? He's like, he kind of got put in a corner. He's like, I think the guy who comes up with the idea is the creator.
Yeah.
But if he wants to be called the co-creator, then go for it, which I disagree with. It's like, idea is only half of it.
Yeah.
Got to have some other ideas in there, too.
A lot of ideas, but you got to execute that idea.
Unless you're the guy who's writing and drawing it, then you can claim it. But if you do want to find out more about Steve Ditko, there are 2 places I'd recommend. One of them is a documentary from about 10 years back. I've said it so many times in the show. It's not my fault. A lot of things happened 10 years ago. You can just find it on YouTube. It's called In Search of Steve Ditko. BBC4 put it out. It's really amazing. It's like an hour long. Or if you want to read about Steve Ditko, Marvel Comics The Untold Story, which is something I'd recommend in general because it's a great book and it tells a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. When he died of a heart attack, 90 years old. It's so vague. Like, people don't even know. They're like, to the best of our knowledge, he never married and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's also amazing. Like, to be a part of things that are so iconic in pop culture, but be able to maintain a level of privacy and
he was
reclusiveness.
hyper private.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so he died of a heart attack in his apartment. Unfortunately, he wasn't found for a couple of days. They said it was for a wellness check, but let's be real, it's been real hot out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a reason that the police were called for a wellness check.
Yeah, probably there's a little stench.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to roll with. Originally, it was put out that there were no known living heirs, but apparently he does have a nephew who has to be like 70, I'd imagine, but still.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a little bit interesting. Apparently, someone got along with Steve because his nephew's name is Steve Ditko.
Huh.
As far as I know, that's the only living relative.
Interesting.
Yeah, sad to see him go. It was nice seeing all the outpouring of people on Twitter, and you see it was so crazy. You saw the same story a million times. Like, every comics creator was like, I met him once. I spoke to him on the phone once. Like, barely anyone had interactions with this guy. It's insane. He did what he did. You can't even necessarily call it, it's like, oh, it's sad that, like, he was alone. Apparently that's what he wanted, though.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no indication that he was like, oh, if only someone would come and talk to me.
It wasn't like he was lonely per se. He was just, and he lived the style of life that he wanted to live.
Yeah, and he had a couple of friends I know that would come and visit him. Apparently not very many. He wouldn't let a lot of people into his building, according to the security guard at the door. But yeah, the world greatly benefited from him. He created Spider-Man. Spider-Man is arguably the most important character of the 20th century. His merchandise still outsells everyone 2-1.
Oh yeah.
It's popular with kids and adults and all that stuff. I mean, his impact is massive.
Because he's an every guy that all of a sudden gets these fantastic powers. He's the loser who goes from zero to hero. Who doesn't love that story? Who doesn't love the underdog winning?
But yeah, and there's nothing I can say that other people haven't said, and I'll probably say it worse, but he left an impact that will outlive all of us. Long after we're dead, people will still be talking about what he did back in 1961 or 62. One of those ones. I think it's 61.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, boy, there really aren't many Titans left. Like, it's basically Stan.
It really is.
And you could, like, guys like Joe Sinnott are still around, but, I mean, oh, thanks, Kirby.
Kirby's attacking me.
Kicking the mic. Yeah, bummer that he's gone. Kind of a bummer to go out on, but his work will be remembered literally forever. So that's something that's more than most of us get. Actually, that's more than almost anyone gets, considering the impact he's going to leave.
No, I think,
he had no interest in talking about it. But have you read my new comics? No, they're weird.
I mean, he did what he wanted to do, and he did it in the manner that he wanted to do it. And hopefully we can all be like, I would say that's lucky. Like he did what he loved and he was able to keep his privacy and he was able to live his life. We can only all be so lucky in that regard, I guess.
I too want that level of privacy. Get out of my house.
Okay. You invite me over.
Yeah, I guess that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week with some Steve Ditko stuff. What a coincidence.
Shocking.
I thought we should.
Smart and timely.
Yeah, might as well pay tribute to him because we've done a bunch of his stuff already, or we've done his earliest. We did like a couple early Doctor Stranges and the early Spider-Mans. I think we've done like issues like Amazing Fantasy and half of issue 2, maybe issue 1. I don't remember if we did it or not, but yeah. So we've covered his early stuff. Why don't we get into his best stuff?
Sounds like a plan to me.
If you want to get the show a day early, find out about more of Steve Ditko, patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. Get this show a whole day early before anyone else.
And for $5, you can become a Duke of the podcast.
Yeah.
Not very many Dukes recently, but
It's okay.
still it's a thing that's out there. You can also get the other show, the Buffy back issue, bin, a whole month early.
A week.
Well, close enough.
Boy, one came out today, like for everyone's consumption. Speaking of consumption,
yeah,
I was...
Tuberculosis? Did you have tuberculosis?
Oh, no, it's not bad, but I'm pretty obviously drunk.
Oh, you meant like consuming. Like,
apparently.
Not like consumption like they had in the Old West.
Like, I don't remember being drunk for that episode, but I also don't really remember recording that episode. So
Did
I
you
guess
record it on the 4th of July?
No, this would have been like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I was listening back, I was like, it's not bad, but I'm like, ooh, boy, I am
a little sauce.
I am not sober.
I
don't know if I imagine people can probably hear. I mean, probably people who listen to the show probably know the difference of my speech patterns when I am or am not imbibing.
I know drunk Zach.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear him.
I can identify. He's out in full form in this one.
He came out swinging in that.
That a boy.
The Buffy one that came out today.
He's like, step aside, sober Zach. I'm going to host this train wreck.
It wasn't bad. It was just obvious.
Well, fair enough.
But yeah, get that a whole week early. And Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you could, please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Mostly they all do a lot. They're very important to boosting our numbers. We're on a nice little rise right now.
Ooh, all right. Good to know. Also,
the rise.
Downtown Hollow wide open.
Yeah,
so
parking's available again. They're done for a while.
Stop into 210 Water Street in Hollowell. The raffle still going on.
June 1 is done. July 1 has begun. The July one, I think I talked about it on the show.
You talked about it.
I'll say it anyway.
Pretty incredible one.
Yeah, Jack Kirby's estate is selling off a lot of his stuff, and they're doing some stuff for shops. And one of the things that they sent out, like in a package for stores, was a book that was personally owned by Kirby. It's from like 1954 or something. You can see some like stuff that he underlined and things that he read. It's this old science fiction book, and that comes with a stamp and a letter of authenticity. But yeah, so that's up. It's $1 for 1 or $5 for 10. And
there you go.
Yeah, I think that's a cool one. It's a little artifact.
I bet you'll make a killing with the raffle on Old Hallowell Day.
Yeah, and then next month there's going to be another raffle, and then I'm probably going to be done with the raffles. There's just some stuff I wanted to raffle off.
What's a good summertime thing?
Yeah.
The summer raffle.
Yeah, so that one's going to go for the month of July. Actually, I think our June winner listens to the show, and I haven't told him he won yet. Trenton, you won.
Hey, congratulations, Trenton.
I don't know if he listens this deep into the show.
Huzzah, Trenton. He's like,
because I turn off
he's
a
like,
lot of...
He's like, I can't wait to find out who won the raffle.
I know I turn off a lot of shows when they start plugging it in. I'm like, I'm done. That's why I try and give this a little spice so they stay. And rate, review, subscribe. And you're on Twitter.
Yeah, at Junior Rich.
Yeah, we'll be back next week for more Steve Ditko. Best he has to offer, in my opinion, and most others as well. Be back for that. Bye.
Bye.